Can you achieve dragon rank whilst having a full-time job? We're pushing the limit to see just how many points we can achieve, without leaving stains on my chair or letting my family starve. Join me as I blunder my way towards dragon tier. Hello there everybody and welcome back for episode 3. Let's quickly catch you up to speed with what we have done so far. I'm back off holiday, I've been sat around a pool for weeks, but now we're back for some serious action and the grinds can begin. Let's have a quick look at our stats. Whilst I was away, we've got 99 prayer and 99 magic. We love God's gift. We've made a start on some combat training too. We can see here we've got up to 92 ranged on these sand crabs. We've also got 70 attack, 80 strength and 60 defense with 85 hit points. Our goals this time round, we're going to try to rush out our tier 5 relic and we're going to look to see if we can get our tier 6 combat relic too, which means of course we need to look at doing the fight caves. But first off, let's get back in our lane and go for Scurrius. Okay, here we go for round 3. We're off back to Scurrius. Since we've trained a bunch of our skills up, it's going to be very easy this time round, so no more struggling. Forgive me if you can hear some heavy breathing in the background. It's not me being a creep, I swear. My little pug puppy is laid across my lap after we've come back from holiday, and he's having a lovely little snooze. But yeah, in the meantime, we're just going to hop in there and we'll see how it goes. We'll try and tick off a few tasks. We'll be able to unlock the mastery after that. So let's see how it goes. Okay, it feels a bit wrong going with magic considering... oh, cast away spell. That's another task. So it feels a bit weird going with magic considering we are gearing up for a range build. But... we've got the stats, but we've not really got the gear at the moment. So until we, pick up a bit extra range gear, we might as well just go with magic since, it's easily accessible at this point with any gear really. And one Scurrius kill complete. That took so much longer than what I expected, even with 99 magic. Maybe I slept on range. Maybe I should have just used my doggish and crossbow and got on with it, but hey ho, we're there, we've got our 3rd tier mastery, let's get out of here before I get slapped up by these rats. Okay, so we are going to put this point into ranged, which means a faster attack speed. All ranged weapons essentially will be at least a tick faster, so attack rate set to 80%, and since we round down, even if it's not a whole number, we end up rounding down and saving a tick. And also accuracy across all styles increased by 100%, so let's enable that. Okay, so that's a quick task for restoring 14 prayer points. Whilst we're in the area, we're going to do a little bit of type farm. So we can see there's a few tasks here. If I complete these, my farming level, I'm not sure what level exactly it'll be, but it will jump up quite high, doing 100 of each of these seeds. It'll get me to a point, I'd imagine, where I can just about go into the high tier of the farming guild. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll have access to more contracts, but particularly I'll have access to Hespori as well. I'm hoping that by fighting Hespori, I can get one of the Echo Challenge Orbs, so that I can start fighting the Echo boss as well. There's the first one complete. Turns out it's only for planting the seeds, not for harvesting them, but still, we're going to commit to the rest as well. 100 Globanobonob fruits cashed in, 72,000 farming experience, and only 6 levels, not as much as what I thought. 100 Bolognog fruit planted. 100 Bolognese fruit handed in. 170,000 experience, and what's that? 7 levels.
Harvesting them.
And with that, we've completed the first 2 tiers of Type Farm. I was well off the mark. We're nowhere near being able to do a 3rd tier, so scratch that. In the meantime, with the points that we've earned, what we're going to do is we're going to unlock the seed box because that's a task. We've also unlocked the auto de-weeder ability because
weeds are bad, okay?
And with the rest of the points, we might have a look at some herb boxes to get some early herb lore levels. I'll have a little think about that, but we're going to struggle for herbs in the early game. In the meantime, we still need to get level 65 farming. I've got a couple of trees planted around the world. We'll go check the health on them and see if it gets us close. Let's check the health of tree number 1. That was only about 11,500 experience. If anything's on form today, it's me and overestimating. I'm going to be nowhere near.
We've seen off another round of Type Farm, so we deposit these fruits, and
all being well, that should get us up to 66. So well beyond what we need. I think we are gonna use the spare points for herb boxes. We'll buy one at least and see what sort of return we get from it. I think, is it like 15 herbs? So it should help us get us a few early levels at least, until I can at least start collecting a few more herbs a bit easier. But we are going to head over to the farming guild straight after this and have a little explore around, see what we can do there, and plant a Hespori seed. We are geared and ready to go for Hespori. I'm not sure whether you just need to plant it. I'm not sure if it needs to grow. Looks like it does, so we're geared for nothing. But hey ho, farming cycles are accelerated, so I guess we've probably got 6 hours or so to wait. Meanwhile, we'll go and do some other things and return once it is ready. 3 guesses what we're doing here with all these chaos runes. That's right, we're here to print Tokkul. Our plan is to buy all of the obsidian armour and weapons that we can. There's a bunch of tasks for equipping them. Since we've got Golden God, money's no issue, so we've bought a huge stack of chaos runes. I don't know if it's too many, but either way, the Tokkul will come in useful in the future. We can sink any remaining Tokkul into uncut gems from the gem shop for our crafting training. Righty ho, we've grabbed one of everything from the shop. Let's run through equipping them all and see what we get points for. First of all, we've got the Obsidian Cape, 30 points from there. I'm not sure about these ones, the Obimole, Staff and Ring, we've got nothing for them. I know there's a couple more in here that do earn points. So we've got the Dagger, we've got the Shield, and we've got the Sword. Perfect. So that's 120 points. Very nice. We've got a few quick tasks to tick off whilst we're here. So wield an adamant weapon, something we've not done yet so far. I think wearing a piece of the beekeeper's outfit is another one as well, and equipping a maple short bow. So all 3 of them were medium tasks, so that's another 90 points. 50 more points now until the next relic. Let's see what we can do to complete that. Here we go then. So equip some black armor, and let me get a fire rune, that would help, and a teleport using a lore rune. And that's enough for a tier 5 relic. So let's head to the bank and have a run through our plans. Okay, so let's take a moment to run through each of them. First of all, we have Treasure Arbiter, which allows you to gain clue scrolls much more passively and much quicker whilst doing activities throughout the world. Clue scrolls will be 1 in 15 chance from any source at all, you know, so if you take implants, they're already fairly common, that'll bump down to 1 in 15, but if you take somewhere where, you know, the clue drop rate might be 1 in 128, that also drops down to 1 in 15, so you get them much more commonly. Similarly, whilst doing any mining, woodcutting, fishing, any activity that would passively get in clue scrolls, you will get them 10 times more often, which effectively is very overpowered. You can end up printing clue scrolls that way. When completing the scrolls, all scrolls will end up having the fewest possible number of steps, which is very useful. Combined with our clue compass, you'd be able to blitz through them in no time at all. And similarly, it limits what type of steps you can get from the clues as well. So you will no longer get Amut clues, Charlie the Tramp clues, or Follow the Bad ones either. Upon completing the clue, you will also get the maximum number of items that you could get, the maximum number of rewards. So you can end up ticking off more spots in the collection diary as well. Production Master is something that a lot of you will be familiar with from previous leagues. For production skills like smithing, like fletching, like cooking, you will essentially complete all of your actions in one single tick. So rather than having to, you know, say you're fletching a bunch of logs in your inventory, rather than having to wait and do one by one and wait for a few ticks in between each one, you set off the action and it will blitz through all of them in one single go. So you can, you know, you can imagine you can get some very quick experience on your production skills from there. You know, very good for blitzing through the production skills, but with the amount of boosted experience anyway, and the way I play, you know, I don't mind things where I don't mind activities where I can set it off and then come back in a few seconds, you know, and an inventory's been completed. I'm not going to be sat here constantly, you know, completing inventory after inventory of logs or whatever it may be. So I'm quite happy not having production master, because it fits more in my style of play of being able to set off a bunch of actions, come back and continue. So what does that leave? That leaves Slayer Master as well. Taking a look at this relic, what does this mean? You will always be treated as on task regardless of whether you are or not. Which of course means that you will always get Slayer experience, killing something that could have been assigned as though it was a Slayer task. Also means that you unlock all of the Slayer packs, rune pouches, herb sacks, looting bags, very useful. Imagine looting bag doesn't matter because we don't have wilderness. And you can skip any tasks, you can block tasks for free, and you also get a nice little bonus experience drop every time you kill the 100th, not every time, sorry, I should say, the first time you kill 100 monsters of any given monster. So what that means is if we were to flick through each of these enemies, kill 100 of them, we're going to get some fat XP drops at the end of the 100th kill. With all of that said, what will I be going for? I do normally go for the treasure trail related one, but I honestly think this time round the clue compass alone is such a nice buff for treasure trails. I'm going to take Slayer Master and I'm going to have the best of both worlds. I think Jagex have done a really good job balancing this tier in such a way that you can have a little bit of each without having to have almost like buyer's remorse for choosing the wrong relic. This time round I feel as though I can take the Slayer relic because I've also got a relic that allows me to further enjoy clue scrolls as well. So with all that said, there's nothing left to do but to lock it in. Beautiful. So we're taking a look through the Slayer rewards. Looks as though we can just buy all of these for free now, which is incredible. We're just claiming all of the sort of the automatic kill ones, so you can kill gargoyles straight away, things like that. But the most important thing here that I wanted to look at is broad bolts. I do believe now we've got this acquired, we should be able to make broad bolts and broad arrows. I don't think we've actually got high enough fletching to do so yet. I think we need level 55. But if we get these final few levels, we should have a training method that we could pretty much use to buy level 99 fletching now. From this shop, we can buy unfinished broad bolts. We can buy feathers. Combining them two together is a very easy way of leveling our fletching up. And we cannot forget, we actually get a herb sack, we get a rune pouch, and which I actually need a higher herb lore level to be able to purchase. And we also get a looting bag as well, which I won't be able to make use of, but we've got it. We've just been doing some wood cutting so that we can train our fletching for these broad bolts, and whilst doing so I've got a Dr. Jekyll random event. I've run to the bank, grabbed a guan leaf, we're going to give it to him because that is a task. Let's give that over. Strength potion received and 30 points. Here we are doing some early herb lore training whilst my screen goes apeshit because I'm not focused on the game. We're trying to get level 38 for prayer potions. I don't think I've got enough herbs or secondaries to do so, so we may have to gather a few more. But once we can actually make prayer potions, we can go and smash out some proper PVM content. You know what, I'm just on the hunt for a pestle and mortar because I could have sworn I spawned with one. Not in my bank though, so I headed back to Lumbridge to see if I could find it. Went to, is it Pedu? See if he had one, he did not. Checked with the sage, see if he had one. Does not. Apparently I got a pet. Apparently at some point I got a pet. Now I don't think it was on this playthrough. I don't think it was on this Leagues. It must have been on an old one because I've checked the tasks and, you know, looking at obtaining a pet, we haven't ticked that off. So it must be from a previous time around. For a moment I thought we had a pet. But you know what, we're going to bring him out. We're going to bring him out. The beaver shouldn't be sat in there all on his own. Let's get him here. He can follow us around for a little bit. Life's a good one. Here we are, little lad. Go stretch your legs. Found them. I knew they was around here somewhere. Why I didn't check the shop sooner, no idea. Let's nab a load of them. Create an anti-poison. Complete. Damn, I wish I didn't have to record that clip. I Yep, that's right, I am running around the forest killing unicorns with a pickaxe. What of it? As you can see though, we do have another area unlock. Time for us to actually think about what we want to do with area number 2. Just to give you a bit of an insight as to what we're aiming to do next while we gather up some snake grass for these prayer potions, we're trying to get some gear upgrades, because we've made it this far with nothing but a doggish crossbow. Now, in reality, we're not far away from being able to make a better weapon. And that weapon, I think, is going to be a rune crossbow. We've unlocked a good fletching method now, which means we're not far away from being able to make some good bolts, with the potential of taking some diamond tipped or ruby tipped adamant bolts into the fight caves. Our DPS is going to be so much higher. Now, that does leave the question of where do we get the runite limbs? Because I can't be asked making them. We're going to go hit up some steel dragons and see if we can collect a pair from there. There we go, 65 fletching. That allows us to do a bunch of different bolts. We can do adamant bolts, we can do ruby tipped bolts, and we can do diamond tipped bolts. But in reality, we're going to be maining these broad bolts that we've made. They're so readily available. I think they're stronger than adamant bolts. They're in that ballpark, so why wouldn't we use them? Next up, we're going to go hit up the steel dragons, see if we can get those runite limbs. And while we're here, we're going to give this lad 1 million coins and make his year. Permanent access unlocked, 200 points. Off we go. Golden God strikes again. And I forgot my fucking pickaxe. Oh my god. Literal liability. Psst. You want to see something cool? Slayer experience. We're heading on over to Steel Dragons now, and as they are also a monster that could be assigned as a Slayer task, what it means is that we're going to be getting Slayer experience whilst killing them. Not only are we going to be working towards the runite limbs for our first real range weapon upgrade, but we're also going to be working on the level 55 Slayer requirement, which will progress us towards our next mastery as well. So without any further ado, let's whip out our water spells and get these limbs. And of course, part-time YouTuber kicks in. I didn't hit record in time, but we get the limbs on kill number 2. I may have said I was stopping fletching at level 65. As usual, I was talking shit. I need to get level 69 so I can actually make the crossbow in the first place. And level 69. Now we need to make our crossbow, so we need some new logs. If I could spell. Luckily we have a set here. We are going to need a crossbow string, which I'm pretty sure we don't have yet. No sinew, no, but we can figure it out. Tried bending the wrong logs. Let's do willow. Cook our beef. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Well, I guess I need to do it on a stove anyway. That was never going to work. Now, that should be everything. We string it. Happy days. We make a rune crossbow. And now, we equip it. 160 points, just like that. As we're not level 55 Slayer yet, we're going to make some mithril bolts for the time being. That way we can do a bit of training, get some more Slayer levels, and move over onto the broad bolts. We're back to see the Tazar, and we've stocked up on a bunch of emeralds. Whilst we're here, we're going to grab an onyx as well. That's 200 points. Now that we've got an upgraded range weapon, we need to fix up our armour. So we're collecting as many gems as we need to. Ultimately, we're trying to get to level 84 crafting so we can do black dragon hide, but for the time being, even if we make it to 77, that'll be fine for red. Long term, if we can make it to 90, we can do the Amulet of Fury, which would be lovely. We are zooming through the crafting levels. We're up to level 72, but I'm off to bed because I'm exhausted. With what we've done so far, I think we might be able to make it up to about level 77, 78, maybe 79, so we should be good for red dragonhide. We'll have a few more levels to go for black dragonhide, so we'll see if I've got the motivation to get them out of the way with tomorrow. And I may have lied a little bit, so we've actually got them restocked on dragon longswords. We've been doing a bit of combat training on sand crabs, all with the hope of getting 100 combat, which we've now achieved. That means another mastery that we can unlock. Also, very nice that we're leveling up some Slayer whilst we're doing this too, so we're creeping towards that level 55 Slayer. This time, I am actually going to bed. Tomorrow we'll finish off 55 Slayer, we'll get the Combat Mastery, and we'll see off the Fight Caves. Just a quick check-in. Unfortunately, I didn't have OBS open, so I kind of missed the drop. But you can see in the inventory here, we've got our first Brimstone Key. So another added benefit of the Slayer Master Relic is that you can get Brimstone Keys from Slayer monsters just whilst killing them. Similarly, if I had the Wilderness unlocked, I believe it applies to Laren's Keys as well. But since we don't have that, I assume we're only going to get Brimstone Keys. Still, it will be very nice to be able to head up to Mount Karulm, or however you pronounce it, and crack open the chest by Kona to stock up on some tasty supplies. Well, we've now got 64 Slayer, which is obviously higher than our level 55 requirement to kill a Slayer monster. What we're going to do is we are going to kill an Aberrant Spectre up in here. I've gone past the Banshees so we can put our nose peg on. I hope I got that in time. We did. Cool, let's see one off. I think they're magic based. Perfect. One more mastery. Let's get out of here. So let's take a look then. What have we just unlocked? We have another tier, which we are going to put into ranged. What does that give us? Ranged attack rate set to 50%, rounded down above 5 ticks, rounded up below 4 ticks. And we also get prayer point gain from all sources increased by 25%. Lovely stuff. Let's enable this. Time to be super strong. Here we are, back in the farming guild. This gal is all grown up and ready for a fight. We're going to take on Hespori. I think this should be a fairly simple fight. Our gear is scuffed as anything, but our range level is super high. I think we should have this in the bag. As a reminder, the main purpose of doing this is we're trying to get the Echo Orb. If we kill Hespori one time, the orb is guaranteed. Using that orb, we'll be able to challenge the Echo version of the boss, which has a chance of dropping one of the Echo weapons, which is ultimately what we're after. Let's send it and see what happens. Combat achievement acquired. That must have been for blitzing through the little petals in a quick period of time. As you can see here, we're just tearing her apart, absolutely. We are so overleveled for this, even with this shoddy outfit we are wearing. No trouble at all. We're probably not even going to eat at this rate. This is going super well. And here we are, kill complete. I know it's only Hespori, but that was incredibly easy. Man, I love the power in leagues. We're going to have to eat some food just to make room for the rewards here. Let's see what we get. The orb should be guaranteed. And there it is. We've got a seed for the collection log as well. No idea which one that is. I get mixed up between the 3 from Hespori. But we've got what we're after. Let's go gear up and give the Echo boss a try. I've got no idea how to use this orb actually. I might just have to have a little read up. See if I can find out any info. There's a bunch of guides online for Echo Hespori as well. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos or YouTube tutorials advertised. I've consciously avoided them because, well, it's fresh content and I think we should go into this quite blind and try it how it was supposed to be experienced. So we're going to go in not really knowing a whole lot. I'm going to take in what I think I will need. We'll just play it out and see what happens. Just have to have a look. Here we are, we're geared up, we're ready for round 1 with Echo Hespori. I fully suspect we might need a combat switch, but we're just going to send it and see what happens, just so I can get a flavour of the mechanics first. We're going to pray magic. I don't know if that's the right call, but we're going to go for it. Hope for the best. We're poisoned already. Let's have a sip of that. Okay, so we can see some new mechanics already. We've got some area damage over on the floor. We're taking a fair bit of chip damage as well at the moment. This one is certainly more about learning. Certainly not expecting to win. It's just about learning as much as what we can for next time around. There we are again, the floor damage. Let's dodge this one. Awesome. Okay, so lots of chip damage. And of course we've got the petals as well. Okay, it does look as though a switch would come in useful for these. We've got a bunch that I can take out here with ranged. But yeah, the other ones need a melee weapon to deal with. Let's just make sure. We'll give it a try using the knives. Can we make any damage? It doesn't look like it, no. We're going to have to go bare fist. Oh well, I've kind of set myself up here not bringing a spare weapon, but you know what, we've learnt a lot. We've seen a lot of mechanics. I know what to expect for next time around. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with what we've seen. We have fought valiantly. We're down to our last food. We're going to have to call it. Let's get out of here. It's not a failure, it's a setback. We'll come back stronger. We will get that fancy salamander. Realistically, what I should be doing next is looking at getting the tier 6 mastery. If we do the fight caves, we can get the final tier ranged relic. If we take a look at that, what it means is that we would never miss another attack. Using ranged, we would never miss. 100% accuracy. That would be insane for our DPS. That is huge. And for the passive effect, we would have 60% penetration through prayer. I wonder if that would be enough to hit through those rosebuds. Something to give a try. It might mean that we don't need to bring a switch. It still might just be easy to bring a switch. The flower buds are one hit kill. If we get something fast enough, we can just flick through them. We'll figure it out. But I think our next objective will be the fight caves. Hey, and there we go. We've got a giant's key. That's not what we're after, not at all, but we'll take it. At some point in time, we're going to want to get the combat achievements at Obor, and there's also a task for getting a hill giant club as well. Unless we get incredibly lucky and get it on the first kill count, we're going to need a few more of these keys. That's a problem for another day. What we're here for at the moment is a few herbs so that I can level up Herb Law. We're currently level 33 Herb Law. We need 38 for rare potions. I know there are much better monsters we could be killing for herbs, but we're here for a fun time, not for efficiency. Deal with it. We are doing the final bits of preparation though for the fight caves, and prayer potions are a vital part of that. We're not going to need too many, realistically, with the sheer size of our forearms and the girth of our thighs. We're very overpowered, it's going to be a breeze, but we'll get these final few levels, we'll make a couple of potions, and then we'll be ready. Quick check-in before we wrap up for the episode. We're just about to hit 50 million magic experience, which will be the final task for magic in this league. There's nothing for 200 million or anything beyond, so our final 200 points is here. Of course, we're going to keep alking because we're just printing money at this point. There's really no reason not to. But let's go get our final couple of Herblore levels and into the fight caves. Exactly what we're after, a glob fruit. We're going to make one of those fancy pies that boosts our Herblore level so we can make prayer potions, because I can't be asked to get more herbs right now. Now that we're ready, we are going to wrap up this episode before we head into the fight caves. Before we leave, I'd just like to say a huge thank you if you're still here watching for some reason. As the old cliche goes, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, it really does help the channel. Please let me know what I can improve on going forward, but for now, thank you once again, take care, and we'll see you next time, where we will take on the fight caves. Bye for now.